Hello and welcome to another episode of We're Not Nerds, and I actually do feel a little less nerdy.
I don't know, it feels great.
Something's different about
Cleaner.
it.
It feels cleaner, right?
Yeah, there's just a lot less of
dork.
a certain person.
I don't know what it would be. I don't know what it was. Is that what you guys think it was? Interesting.
Yeah.
That it was. Nathan's not here.
Yeah.
That's right.
It didn't even occur to me.
That's right.
That's weird.
That
We'll talk more
loser's
about
not
that
He
later.
here.
had a what? A scheduling issue or
Issue?
something like
Yeah.
that?
He forgot we
Again.
were
Even though
meeting
we,
today.
Like talked about it
Even
several times in different ways of communicating.
Yeah. Canceled us on the last minute again.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I'm being unprofessional and opening my soda on my
Yeah.
So what did we do tonight? For the first game we played was we played more VR games again. Switch is coming up.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, next
We
week.
played QuiVr.
QuiVr was the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we
a
just
basic...
go straight to the ratings?
Yeah, who would like to describe QuiVr generally?
Well, I mean, you had the more experience.
So
with
it's another archery game. It's actually very similar in the functionality to the game that comes with the lab, which really sort of showcases all the things Vive can do. So basically, over the shoulder, get the arrow, knock the arrow, and the physics of the.
And you did say
shooting
that it was a
people.
pre-release, also, right?
Yeah, it's not a pre-release. You actually get
not
to
a
the,
beta, but it's past that.
You get to the end of the level and it actually says under construction.
Right,
so I think they're letting you know more's coming. What made it a little bit different is that first game in the lab was really just standing on a castle wall. All the characters were like flat. It was like the little kind of almost like the Mii's on the Wii. You know, these generic little characters that run around and they'd have helmets on and armor sometimes or whatever, or shields, I guess. But on this, they actually had different creatures that would run at the gate and all. Nothing attacks you. Basically, there's like a series of gates, and if enough of the enemy get to the gates, they break it and they get through. And if they get all the way to the end, you lose. And you're working your way forward so that when the boss monster comes out at the end, you have more barriers between him and the main castle, and you have more time to shoot him.
Right. So, can you remind, or at least the boss that actually comes out, is it on a timer or how far you actually get into it?
I think it's a timer because if you're in the beginning, you don't get very far. He eventually comes out. So I don't know if it's
like 2 or 3 minutes.
I don't know, and maybe more than that.
Feels
maybe
more
like
than
5 or
that.
It
10.
feels like it was definitely.
It feels so long.
But if it's either enemies killed or total time that goes by, I think, or maybe it's arrows fired. I really don't know, but I assumed it was like a timer. And then he comes out. He shoots some like cannonball type stuff at you.
It's like a 3-headed dog kind of thing.
Yeah, and you're firing back at it. So, yeah, I mean, that's the basics of it. Also, the teleporting was different in that you're shooting at these other glowing orbs, and they're the places that you can shoot from. So if you want to move to a different location, you fire at that orb, you then teleport to it, and you can start firing from that location. So you're using that to work your way up, which I thought was an interesting change from the point and teleport mechanism, and it also added a little bit of strategy to it. If you're trying to teleport really far away, you need to better aim to hit that orb than somewhere close by.
It definitely tests your accuracy and just kind of like type of like strategy is like you said with the placement and everything like that. I mean, you first start off on the gate, and then also you need to go maybe in an elevated position to kind of flank them as they're running, or you can kind of go in front of them.
Right.
But it's also it seems like this game is definitely revolving around accuracy and also speed. Because it seems like right when you start at the beginning, you want to get out in front as soon as possible in order to stop that initial horde.
Yeah, if you miss one, if you take a little too long, then the guys in the back are getting closer. And instead of taking out those first 3, then teleporting down farther where you can take out the next 3 and then teleport to the next one, you can get yourself in a bad spot. Yeah. So there's definitely a bit of the, like you said, you need to be quick about how you're moving. And the accuracy, like you said, you need to, if you're not hitting the targets, you're not just not killing those guys that are coming at you, but then they're just building up behind you. So.
You don't really have a target thing that says where your arrow is going to land either.
Yeah.
So you have to judge it.
Yeah.
It really did feel like you're getting to the point where, I mean, again, with the mask on, you get the 3D effect, you get that sense of depth, and you really do start to feel like he's a certain distance away, and you're judging how you're going to fire. And I felt like you really got a knack for it. Like you're actually getting better at archery
Yeah.
as you play, which is
much.
different than other
Yeah.
games where you're upping your skill set by your archery skill +1 or
Yeah.
something. This was really like, oh, I'm getting better at judging that distance and knowing where to put the arrow based.
Most of the time, those games they either do like an auto type of like lock on and everything auto
Right.
fire.
Yeah.
But for some of the most like AAA titles that are out now, you actually have to or aim it and you have to lead on it and you have to do everything like that. So it felt like this VR definitely had that premise, except it did not have an actual reticule. So you had to
Yeah.
kind of eyeball it as you go. Almost in a stationary. You can still kind of move around a little bit, but
Yeah,
it's still stationary.
It was good for room scale. I mean, you had the full 360 that you could look around. So I don't know how this would work on Oculus, where you still have the two sensors in front of you.
I think it would work.
It could, but I mean, I definitely
think it
felt
would
myself
work
turning all
fine,
the way
especially
around.
if you're stationary. Because remember, Oculus doesn't really work when you move around and you start
Right.
turning around.
But
and
you weren't
stuff like that.
stationary in this. I definitely felt myself walking over to the edge of the cliff to look over it, then walking back, and then teleporting where I'm facing the other direction.
Yes.
And at the end, when those cannonballs were coming at you, I didn't know till tonight, but you could just dodge them. I thought you
Yeah.
had to fire at them or teleport
Yeah.
away, but you can just lean to the side. I don't know. It might work for Oculus, but it's another one of those things where you don't have to worry about it with Vive, where you have the full 360.
I think
So-
Tom was actually just trying to show off by shooting all that stuff, trying to show how cool it is. Actually,
I felt like Robin Hood sometimes. It was dope. You get that feeling of over the shoulder and over the
Yeah.
shoulder. All right, ratings, Amanda.
3 out of 5.
I would have to say I'd give it about a 3 out of 5. Also, I mean, granted, it is a pre-release. I wish there
Yeah.
was more to actually see, like maybe like an additional level. But it does have the gameplay is pretty fun, and then as further you get into the actual additional gates, you have like the fog rolling in. You have different type of like higher or deeper type of chasms cavern that you were going through.
Right.
Chasm, actually, it's
Yeah,
kinda like
yeah,
that, yeah.
Words are hard.
I-
Words are really
I know
hard.
Nathan would disagree, but I thought the graphics were pretty good.
1 out of 5.
Yeah. No, I thought the graphics were good. Everything,
Yeah.
it felt like you're really there in this canyon kind of
Yeah.
thing. I'd give it. I don't want to overdo it because it was a short game and you don't know what the rest of it is. So for now, for what it is, I give it 3.5.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of replayability now that I've played that, like everything it seems to pretty much offer. But if it were to get progressively harder, I would definitely play it more. And I found myself being pretty addicted to it the one night I played it. It was like, I mean, I was even using the wrist weights
Yeah.
to turn into a workout.
Yeah.
And I was aching, but it was like, I'm going to try one more go. I want to be able
Mm-hmm.
to pass this thing. So for now, I give it 3.5. I think it has a lot more potential than that, but you got to see, what else are they going to add? Will it have replayability, or is it just like, okay, I get this concept and now there's not a whole lot else to do with it?
I agree.
So, but it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It's the only other thing I'll say. It's another archery game, and this is where I disagree with Nathan about like the puzzle game thing. But there is a sense of what are we going to get other than an archery type game, because it works really well with the physics of the stuff. What else are we going to get other than a first person shooter, and then what do we get other than this sort of puzzle room escape stuff?
Well, I think that's kind of just going into a broader question about VR in general. I mean, how kind of more, or what's the better word for it? How unique in a game can you be to where you have you're an archery, but this particular game has something different. Maybe you could actually move around in it. Maybe you could actually do. I mean,
Right, and that's the thing. You
You
look
can
at
only
something.
do so much in VR.
You look at something. Well, I think you can do anything in it. It's just you need to develop it for it. I mean, if you
Right.
look at something like Skyrim, you can do archery, magic, swords, axes. You can do everything. It's just you'd have to make a game for VR where you sit down and go, we not only have to do our archery physics and all correctly, we need to work out a way to you fight with a sword, and we need to incorporate that, and we need to incorporate other characters in all these places to go explore and everything else. And that just takes a major,
it's a
game
lot of work.
company, development company to do it.
Skyrim VR confirmed.
Well, they're doing Fallout.
That's what I'm hearing.
Fallout 4 they're supposed to do. So that'll be the first
That'd
big
be
thing to
pretty
me,
cool.
and we talked about this before a little bit,
Yeah.
but when that comes out, if they really have that full game and you can go in and explore this entire world in VR with the character interaction and everything else, because that's another thing we haven't seen on VR yet. It disappoints me a little bit.
Like a
And-
full interactive, immersive type.
yeah,
of
and maybe there's
world
other games
where-
we just haven't played yet, but looking through what's available, a lot of them are first-person shooters and stuff. and I'm looking for something that has me walking up to someone in like a store and having some sort of conversation the way you would in a Elder Scrolls type game.
Right.
Where they say something and you choose a dialogue option and then you're choosing to purchase things, or they're saying, hey, I need you to go do this for me, and you go do it.
VR is still fairly new. I mean, within the past year, it's really been
Right.
populating a lot.
And
of
I don't think there's
different
any
games, so.
reason you couldn't do it. I mean, it doesn't seem like it takes any more processing power or anything that's available. It just seems like you would need the force of a full, huge company that does everything from the voice acting to the dialogue trees and everything else. And you haven't had that sort of... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. You don't have that kind of weight behind it, that sort of, development weight behind it to actually
almost
create
like investment or something
but,
like that. You have
but
to
I don't
invest a lot
see,
into it.
yeah, but I don't see why it's not possible though. I mean, to me, it's like we have all that already. You're just, the interface is different. And yes, for some of the things like pulling out an arrow, knocking, it's different than just hitting the space bar or something, or the left mouse button.
It's more exhausting, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's true too. But I don't see any reason they couldn't do it. And I'm assuming it's not a limitation of the technology; it's a limitation of the investment you have to put into the technology to make a AAA game of that nature.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see more of that. But
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting.
I'd play this game again. Certainly if they come out with the the next levels and all, I'd be like, oh, dope. And it's a good length too, because as much as I do love Elder Scrolls and all, personally I'm getting to a point in my life where I have less time, and it's like, am I going to spend this entire week? Is the girlfriend going to let me spend the entire weekend playing video games, or is it nice to be able to come and play a game like this where you can play for an hour, past that next level or whatever, be like, hey, that was fun, and then put the VR away. So
I get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're talking about other types of games available for VR. What was the next game we played?
The castle.
The
We
castle.
already forget the name of the
I already forgot
Castle-
it. We just
Castle
picked it up.
Must Be Mine.
Yeah,
I'll
I think
put it
that's
up,
it.
but I think
There
it's
we
Castle
go.
I think
Must
that's it.
Yeah.
Castle must be
Be-
mine.
Amanda, you were very good at this game. Describe it to us.
You were extremely good at this game.
It was interesting in the sense of you were looking kind of like the action was going on on a table.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of looking down, and you had this hero knight and all these enemies coming at it. And you could build like these little towers with that would shoot arrows at
Essentially
them.
a castle defense.
Yeah.
Game. Like you could play on your phone or something.
Yeah, you can move the little hero guy around, and if someone gets past him, move him back over there. You're basically trying to make sure these enemies don't get into your castle. You have a certain health bar that goes down, but
Now,
Yeah.
this isn't actually like a full VR. So, what was it? It felt like in the first two levels, you didn't really get that. You kind of have that top down to where it's like a table, and you
Right.
kind of see them all in 3D rendering. It's not until the third or the fourth level, particularly in the fourth level, when you actually are able to grab the boulder and you can stand there and you can
Yeah.
actually see it
The
at
fireball.
almost like at table level, and you could actually throw things at it that you pretty much interact with those type of enemies. At the same
Yeah,
time.
and even that was kind of limited though.
It was very limited, but it was actually a really cool feature. When I first actually did it, because I was on level 4, I was pretty blown away. I actually really liked it. And I wish that it had that functionality to where you could actually stay down there and control your guy, but you had to port back to the actual what was it, the top level,
The
or something
top down
like
view.
Yeah.
What would you rate it?
I would rate that. I thought it was a lot of fun. I would give it a 4 out of 5, just because it was just really challenging. I actually kind of liked the 3D space, kind of looking down on a table type of view, and then I wish we could have saw more or got more into it. It looked like we were fairly progressing really well.
We got
with
to
it.
the point where you could upgrade the towers.
Yeah,
and
and
like
then
you said, you had the fireball, then the
fireball.
stone, and you were getting
They need to fix
multiple
the damage
paths
on
and-
that fireball.
Yeah, it
At least
was
have
kinda low.
a damage multiplier or something like that.
Right.
Super-
it didn't do much.
Yeah.
What would you give it, Amanda?
I really enjoyed it. 4.5.
Really?
Yeah, I
She
base
killed
it.
it.
I base the game off of how fun I've had with it
Yeah.
and how challenging it is, and I thought I'm not Nathan, okay?
I know. No, I know. He would just tear it apart probably.
Yeah, the graphics.
I don't know what I give it. See, this is a tough one for me because was it fun? See, here's the thing. I love tower defense games. I got one on my phone, and it's like aliens coming to steal sheep or something. I forget what it's called. I'll put it up if I can find it. But it's great because you're just sitting there in bed or whatever, and it's like, okay, I got to build a tower here and here. You have different towers you can build, and I love it. I like the challenge of it. But was this fun because it was a cool tower defense game, or does the VR add anything? That's sort of my question.
That's a good
I
point.
think it kind of did. I mean, it'd be fun to even play Risk or something like that in
Yeah.
this format, where you're standing there, you're looking down, and instead of just clicking on a screen, you're reaching down and moving the guy around and all. it was really fun, and I could see myself getting addicted to it. Where one night I'm playing, and I go one more time, and next thing I know, I take it off, and it's like midnight.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mind
mean?
you,
So
that
that's a good thing.
It is a tabletop, but
Right.
you are in an actual 3D space as VR. So you still have to control your mobs.
Right.
You still have to control, place all your towers, go and grab things. I mean, if we actually had a recording of us on the outside, you could see that we were moving all over the place. trying to
You're
grab
jumping around the
stuff.
table and you're
So I mean,
reaching
the VR
in.
aspect is definitely there. Maybe just not. It's very limited when you actually go on the tabletop side of it, or when you go down to the actual table level. But I mean, the full 3D, at least for me, my experience, I gave it a 4 because I felt like it had the.
No, I think
the
so
VR
too.
there
I guess I give it. I have to play it more. I'd like to see how much upgrades there are and everything, because I think they are more fun when there's more and more upgrades. Because then you have the strategy of, do I build another tower, or do I build or upgrade the existing one, and what's the trade-off between that price of that? So I hope it has some more. So no, I guess I give it like a 4, and depending on what the rest is, sort of like the other game, depending on what the rest of it is.
Yeah.
I see. I almost feel like I liked the other one
More?
I think there is more replayability, and I look forward to like what the next level will be more than QuiVr. I mean, I hope QuiVr continues to surprise us and have more options, but at least with Castle Must Be Mine.
Yeah.
That the next one, like the first level was a very linear path that the enemies take.
Yeah.
Then one of the next ones or two away after that was
the third one. It had multiple
split
paths,
path.
Yeah.
And then you got to the one where it's a circle in the middle. So there's always those new challenging elements, and I do really like that kind of game. So I guess I give it a 4. I'm just a little conflicted over, does the VR add a whole lot? Am I really impressed? This is so cool that it's like you're there looking at the table doing it instead of just staring at your phone? Or did I really just like the challenge of...
Or do you just really like the game itself?
Yeah, the game itself, and it doesn't necessarily, you know what I mean?
Doesn't necessarily need
So
VR.
it's weird. I can't really tell on this one. All the other games were like definitely VR. I'm in the game. I'm just bending over and opening that drawer. Blah blah blah. This one's like, yeah, it's cool. It's like it's all happening on a table in front of me, which is something I've never seen before. But
What would you give it then?
I'll give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
I'll give it a 4, and I can definitely see myself playing it again and spending an afternoon trying to get through the whole thing. With 3 stars on every level because I'm perfectionist.
Of course.
Of course.
So definitely has replay value, and want to get further. But I'm just like, would it be the same thing if it was on my phone, or just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I would like to see more games like that, though. I think it would be cool to do like a Risk or something. There's a great game called Civilization, not Civilization, the one we're all thinking of.
Yeah.
But it's an old, I think it's like Avalon Hill was the company, and it's a big Mediterranean board game. And you put down your pieces, and in like every turn they multiply, as if you have 2, they turn into 4. Then you can spread them out. And you're growing your civilization, and you get tax money once you build cities, and you use that to buy commodities, and then civilization cards, which would be like pottery, and you can
see. I would actually like to do to see something like that, but also in a 3D space, kind of like a VR.
Yeah,
that you can transfer back and forth. I mean, you could have that tabletop, but actually, what I would really like to see in VR is like a true. You could actually go down there, see their actually fight.
It's almost like those old roller coaster tycoon games, which is like, oh, this is so cool, I'm building it. And then I think there was a different version of one where you could actually like be in the theme park.
You could actually ride.
And that's the difference. Like, let's build the whole thing and then actually see what it'd be like to walk around in this place I built and ride one of the rides. Yeah. So I think it'd be great to see a game like that version of Civilization. It's hard to do on a computer. The map was so big and all, but standing at the table where you could just walk around over here and look at your stuff and walk over there would be cool. Yeah. And then, like you're saying, if there was a way to dive into it and look at it from
or it could be something like a movie or something like that, how the generals or the leaders are up on a hill watching the battlefield or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So I think it's cool to see this. And there's another tabletop game too, where I think you can play like some card games and stuff. Maybe I'll check that out. But I am kind of interested in the idea of the VR not just being about making a virtual space to play in instead of it actually being the game itself all the time. So, well, okay. One other thing to rate. What do we rate Nathan's performance tonight? I gotta say, the first thing is it's just, we've done it before. We've seen it before.
Oh, this is my first time.
Oh, yeah, it is your first
because
time.
his But you gotta know with us, it's just
pretty typical.
It's becoming old hat.
Really?
It's like, oh, Nathan forgot. You know what I mean?
What do you rate him out of a 5?
Well, the graphics are terrible.
Yeah, really bad. Have you seen how greasy his hair is?
I'm gonna give him a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5?
Yeah, I'll give him a 2 out of 5.
1.5.
1.5. What do you say, Philip?
I don't know. I talk to him about hardware stuff all the time. I'd have to give him a 2.
Okay.
It's from a boy.
Yeah, he really needs to work on it.
Yeah.
And
I hope in the next model, they'll really improve on the.
Nathan 2.0.
Yeah.
We can all hope. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely, you know, if I was the developer, I definitely have some ideas you know,
Yeah.
about what
I think
want
this is
to
just
do.
the beta version,
Day
right?
one, instantly a day one patch.
We miss you, buddy.
This is what happens when you're not here.
Seriously.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
I think that covers it.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.